BehindTheGloves.com here with Kenny Porter. Kenny Porter is back here. It's renamed the Dignity Health Sports Park, or whatever they want to call it nowadays, but it's the StubHub Center to most people, especially boxing fans. Yeah. Last time you and Shawn were here, didn't go exactly how you guys wanted it to. How are you guys going to change it this time around?
You know, I don't think anybody's ever blamed it on a venue for the reason a person wins or loses a fight. So Shawn has to do what we worked on in camp. And if he goes out and does that and we make the adjustments along the way to whatever our opponent is doing, I believe he'll be successful, but not only successful, I believe you have an opportunity to stop this guy.
Most people know you guys hold training camp in Las Vegas, Nevada, where you guys live and everything.
Right.
But this time you guys moved to the East Coast. You went out with Barry Hunter. You worked out with Lamont Peterson.
Right.
Obviously, he's getting ready for his fight versus Sergey Lipinets. Talk to us about just having the importance of a veteran of the ring, and a crafty veteran at that, of Lamont Peterson, working not only with Shawn, but yourself as well, and helping guide, both of you guide each other for their respective fights.
The shortest version I can give you about that is iron sharpens iron. So Lamont being a world champion, Shawn being a world champion, Lamont and Shawn coming together, man, it was just amazing to see these guys not only spar together, but compete against each other in sprints, and compete against each other in strength conditioning, compete against each other even in their nutrition, because Lamont has he's gone organic with everything now. And so Lamont would come in with all the, the organic milk and the organic fruit and the organic this and that, and the organic yogurt, and Shawn would be like, okay, I gotta get me some of that too, So the competition with these guys was just every day. I mean, some days I seen them, literally trying to see who could wrap their hands the best, not the fastest, but the best. Look at my hand wrap, So these guys were just very highly competitive, and they both pushed each other, and that's why Shawn's prepared for this fight.
What does Ugas bring to the table in this fight? What have you seen that actually gave him and got him to this opportunity?
Oh, he's an opportunist. When they called, he was ready. There was a lot of fights that he took at a last-minute notice, but he was prepared for them, and he's successful in those fights. But coming from the Cuban school of boxing, these guys are born and bred to be boxers. They're born and bred to be baseball players, and they identify what they're good at a young age. I'm sure there may be a few other sports they play, but they find out what they're good at a young age, and then they just hone that skill with them. It's no longer about, being a kid that goes to school for education. You're not going to school for boxing, or you're not going to school for baseball. So he's well schooled, and he's going to be one of Shawn's toughest fights.
Most people are already somewhat overlooking this fight. I know you as a trainer and Shawn as a fighter don't do that. You guys do not overlook it. But let's go with what people are doing. And most people are saying that Shawn is going to be victorious versus Ugas. We have next weekend, Errol-Spence versus Mikey Garcia. You guys are leading into that. Keith Thurman has just been added to the broadcast team for Fox for this fight. That rematch is there as well. Manny Pacquiao just had an impressive victory over Adrian Broner. Out of those three names and those three fights, getting past Ugas, which one interests you the most?
Can't look past Ugas. So it's all about Ugas. We're not looking past Ugas. But if you give me, and let me clarify this. I gotta clarify this for people who don't understand. It should be very easy, very simple. 1 + 1 = 2, correct?
Correct.
Very easy. So if Errol-Spence get a fight on pay-per-view for $5 million against a guy in 2 weight classes down, does he take a fight against Shawn Porter for half that? No. So it should have been no-brainer for anybody, even you, Errol, who said you don't know what happened to the Shawn Porter fight. Well, you know what happened to the Shawn Porter fight. You took a fight, which I'm glad you got that opportunity. Errol's one of my guys. It's a great opportunity for Errol. It's a great opportunity. So a guy's coming up 2 weight classes and you're getting pay-per-view, it's a no-brainer. That's why that fight happened, and that's why the fight didn't happen with Shawn. But it's going to happen in its own time. Shawn takes care of business on Saturday night. They've already taken care of our flights to get to Texas. But he's got to take care of business on Saturday night. And out of the 3 names, it's, 3 names?
Yes.
Errol-Spence, Errol-Spence, Errol-Spence.
Yeah. Obviously, I see where your target is there.
Absolutely.
Well,
why would I take a lesser fight?
True.
Okay? We didn't want to fight Ugas. That wasn't our choice. It's a high risk and a low reward. You guys expect us to win this fight. This guy is a tough competitor, highly schooled fighter. It's a dangerous fight for us. So Shawn's got to be on his A+ game.
Now let's look at that fight happening next week. How do you see Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia going? Obviously, as you stated, 2 weight classes coming up. Mikey has always has really good ring IQ, very good fighter, very good boxer, smart, intelligent in there. Has Errol Spence seen anyone like Mikey Garcia in the ring?
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's seen someone like him, if he's seen someone better than him. You know, I go way back with Errol when he was a teenager, and I used to call Errol the Truth. I don't know if he used that name since then, if he's still using it now, but Errol has always been the truth. He is a dog, and he's not going to let anything stop him from being successful on Saturday night. You know, so you know, I have no doubts 100% he'll come out victorious in that fight. It's a great fight for boxing. It's a great challenge for Mikey to step up, not just step up against Errol, but step up, you know, 2 weight classes like that. So, you know, I just don't think it's a fight that he can win against Errol Spence.
With something like that being said, you think no matter what happens in this fight, you're saying Mikey will more than likely lose? Even if he does lose, he still wins because he got up there and took a challenge, stepped up 2 weight classes, went up against who a lot of people call the boogeyman at 147, and just went at it and just respectfully went out on his shield if he loses.
You know what? When you look at it that way, yes. When you look at it that way, yes. But, you know, I'm on a ride on the side of an Errol Spence here for more reasons than one. Number one, he's a bigger man. Okay. Number 2, I think his fight style, southpaw, strong puncher, is going to cause anyone he's in the ring with problems. So, you know, yeah, Mikey stepping up like this, and people may look at it and say, you know what, even if he doesn't win the fight, if it doesn't go his way on Saturday night and he doesn't win the fight, he stepped up. He didn't really, you know, go up against a guy that was in his weight class, and there'll be a lot of reasonings for that. So a lot of people, and I could be one of them, saying, you know what, you know, you're just a warrior, you're a champion, and go back to your weight class and continue, and you'll be successful. And I believe he will. So it could be a win-win for him, even though he doesn't get the W.
Now let's move on to prior events that happened this week. On Monday here in Los Angeles, we had the Canelo versus Jacobs press conference in the final one. How do you see that fight going? Because that is a real interesting bout, considering.
That's a tough one for me. But you know, I'm pulling for Danny. I'm pulling for Danny 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. So I want to see Danny be successful in that fight. I'll be there yelling for Danny. We got a lot of fights coming up on PBC, man. It's incredible. Shawn Porter, Ugas.
Spence, Mikey.
You know, Spence, Mikey. You know,
Peterson,
Lipinets. You got Danny Garcia getting ready to fight Granados. So a lot of good fights coming up. You know, this card here with the heavyweight Efe.
Mansour and Efe.
Mansour and Efe, great fight. You know, so there's a lot of great fights. They're doing PBC is doing their thing.
Now let's flip it over to another side of because there's so many streets on boxing. Another huge fight. Gerald Big Baby Miller versus Anthony Joshua. How do you see that fight going?
Yeah, that's not PBC though.
That is not PBC, but you know, you as a trainer, you've seen so many fighters. I want to hear what you got to say about these fights and how they go and how you like them.
At this time, I'm just a fan for that. You know, I want to see that, but I haven't really analyzed that to see what I think. You know, who's coming out on top of that. Big Baby's a very entertaining guy, and I love that. I go way back with Anthony. In the World Championships, I sat and had lunch with him almost every day in Azerbaijan, which is a country that sits on the Caspian Sea in between Iran and Russia, right? So he didn't get the championship. He didn't win the World Championship. He got the silver. But I watched this guy grow from that point to where he's at now, and it's amazing to me. But Big Baby Miller is an entity within itself, you know what I'm saying? And he's very entertaining even when he's not fighting.
Now let's keep it on the PBC side then, so you want to stay there.
Yeah.
They just announced Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale. Now that has personal beef brewing for over a couple of years now, considering what happened down in Alabama and everything. I believe it was at the Wilder versus Areola bout where some personal beef happened there.
I don't know what happened, but I think these guys got it, or the camps got each other.
I believe it was Wilder's brother got into a Breazeale.
Yeah, kind of scuffle or something like that. Yeah, there's a personal thing going there and there. But again, you know, these two guys, you know, one is the champion and one is not. and I think it'll stay that way.
All right, I thank you for your time, Kenny,
Thank
as
you.
always.